Hey, welcome to Waterfed Wednesday. I think this is episode 27. All right. So, you know, what we are about here at Waterfed Wednesdays. This is where we get to dive into the world of waterfed cleaning, go beyond the bucket, and talk about waterfed window cleaning, talk about our business, your businesses, and help cleaners worldwide get the job done faster, safer, and better. So I am your host, Alex Brunner, and with me today we have
What's up, guys? This is Jamie, Hallman Window Washing. Also, your awesome Tucker rep. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Alex.
absolutely glad to have you here. Glad to have all of you here. If this is the first time joining us, we do this. We aim to do this every week on obviously Wednesdays. You can catch our episodes on our Facebook business page, also our YouTube channel, Tucker underscore USA on YouTube. And if you're joining us live, thank you. And if you're not, if you can't, we'll have those episodes as mentioned on those pages. So, Jamie, every August it hits. We see it in businesses, ours, and I know everyone around the country can feel it too. Fewer calls, empty spots starts showing up on your schedule, and you start wondering, is it just me or is everyone on vacation?
Yeah. We're almost to like August Eve, right? Like we're getting to the end of July, and I'm already seeing it on my schedule, on my guys' schedule. Things get a little thin, right, going into August usually, and this happens whether you're solo or whether you're running a team. And I think we can provide some insight here to help you guys kind of flip that script, turn it around, and use it for the good. So.
Awesome. Yeah. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of awesome tips coming your way. And real quick before we dive in, obviously we got some of our friends here joining us. Well, thank you, Alan, for joining us, and we got your coach here, Jamie, joining in. Thanks, David, for joining us.
What's up, Dave?
So yeah, before we get diving into this, Jamie, we got to let everybody know we're starting a little late this year, but we are having our Christmas in July over at tuckerusa.com right now. So you get 10% off store wide. That's brushes, poles, hose reels, everything, systems. It's really great time to stock up. And
Yes.
just want to chime in over here. Also, got live stream going on Instagram. If you message here, just know I think it's about a 15 to 20-second delay. So if I miss you guys, sorry about that. But I see we have Dallas window cleaning supplies. If you're in the Dallas area and want to get your hand on Tucker equipment, head on over to Dallas. It's I think they're in Richardson, Texas. They can chime in on the chat. But definitely, if you're looking for stuff right now, they have Tucker gear in stock. So,
Awesome.
all
Yeah.
right,
And don't forget, Alex, if you're a Team Tucker member, you get a little bit more off. So
absolutely,
if anybody needs anything, feel free to shoot me a DM.
right on. Well, Jamie, let's get on with the show. So let's go in our first segment. What causes these slowdowns?
Yeah. So I think a big of it is just like the shift from summer mode to fall mode, right? There's so many more things on people's minds than like exterior cleaning services. I don't care what you're doing, whether it's
Yeah,
lawn maintenance, whether it's roof cleaning, soft house washing, window cleaning, whatever. I mean, I'm a homeowner. Alex, you're a homeowner. Like, I mean, this is we're not thinking about that stuff right now, right? Like, especially if you have kids, you're thinking about prepping for school, you're thinking about prepping for new routines, and we, as a industry, just aren't on the top of the minds of people right now.
absolutely. It is a total mind shift. I know for us, we're planning to get a last minute camping trip at the beginning of August. The
Nice.
school for us starts so early now. I think we're at the what end of the I think August the 8th or sometime around there. We're going back to school. So
Oh,
we're
you
that's
guys
what
go
we're
early.
yeah, we go really early. So yeah, definitely people are not thinking about getting those windows cleaned or the
Yeah.
exterior clean right now. They're going out buying backpacks, getting everything ready for school.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
yeah,
and I mean, I had guys out today working. It got to like 93 today here. It's hot. It is stinking, like it is humid. It's hot. No one's outside looking at stuff, right? Like they're inside staying cool. So I think that's a big factor too. We're gonna head into a cool down mode. So I love to see the rhythms. I take note every year, right? Like the roller coaster, and people are like, well, how do you know when it's gonna do this and this? You got to look at the social cues. You got to look at the weather cues, and I think that'll help you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that right. And I think another thing is that not to overlook is that, the marketing drops off. So cleaners assume no one's buying, so they go quiet, right?
It does, and you get into like this almost, and I'm guilty of it too. We all are, right? Like you get into this, like, man, I'm just, you go from being so busy in the spring, and then you're just kind of riding that wave, and all of a sudden that wave goes flat, and you kind of get caught on your heels, right? Like my guys are out canvassing every day. I'm trying to make sure, we don't door knock. I'm not a big fan of door knocking. I'm not going to go into that, but we leave door hangers everywhere they go. We do their 5 rounds. I have them hit neighborhoods if it's a lighter day. But a lot of the times we're all guilty of it. We're just, we get caught on our heels. We're like, and unfortunately, by the time you realize it, it's too late, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to do it before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a roller coaster ride. Yeah, you're riding high, then all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
back down in the lows,
Yeah.
wondering how you got there. But it's sometimes you get too busy and you just can't really. Uh, you think you don't have that time to do it, and so you drop off for sure. So yeah, definitely. Uh, just it's that seasonality, but I obviously we're not just talking about the negatives, but we can go into a little bit further, talk about the signs of the slumps. Um, what so let's talk about these signs. So how do you know that you're in it, and then we'll get out of this slumps talk and we'll talk about some
Yeah.
positives.
Yeah. So the phone stops ringing, guys. Like that happens almost instantly, right? Where you go from 10, 15, 20 calls a day. And that, and it kind of, around the 4th of July, with me here in Michigan, it kind of rides with the holidays as well. Like people get really psyched for, spring, and then it'll go into July, late June. And the people are like, oh, 4th of July activities, graduations. There's a lot happening in those 2 months. And then all of a sudden July comes around and July 4th stops, or it's done, and then you kind of go into this lull period. So the phone stops, the inquiries stop, and people just aren't as excited about it, right? I mean, sometimes you've, especially on companies that are super, like, not super new, but like relatively new, you can tell kind of when it's going to happen, right? Because maybe last year, me it's a little different because I've hired guys on this year, and last year I was by myself, so I'm in a kind of an intermediate, middle ground. But like solo, I got it down pretty pat, right? So yeah, the phone stops ringing, the email stop coming, the inquiries stop coming, and those are some really early signs.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe, like you said, you're a newer business and you're most likely just working on off of referrals.
Yeah, exactly.
You go out there, you work hard, and you're like, hey, talk. Who do you got that needs window cleaning? You're working those referrals, and then instead of doing other things, you just kind of ride high on those, and
Yeah.
also those drop off, right? So
Yeah.
that can definitely um, get you in that August slump.
Yeah, David Mormon actually posted something. I did his coaching program, guys. I got to give a little plug here. HSBC Home Service Business Coach has been fantastic for me. David knows his stuff. His team knows his stuff. Like I said, shoot me a text or DM, if you want to chat about it. But he said, referrals only get you kind of so far, right? And I was prime example of that. Referrals was awesome if you're solo. Like you can literally make a career out of referrals, no problem. But the moment you want to grow, the moment you want to build this thing bigger than yourself for your family, or whatever your goals are, if you decide to make that point, you gotta start doing other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, a good buddy Cole joining in with Wow Pressure Washing
What up,
Services
Cole?
LLC out of Georgia. Let us know, Cole. Are you going through are you starting your August slump early, or are you guys riding in hot? Let everyone know. Let us know. It's always good to hear from people around the country. Some areas you guys might be like, "What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have
Right.
so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
work." And other guys are
Florida,
like,
right? Like, what's
"Great."
Florida doing right now? That's almost like, it gets weird around, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think. Well, you guys, if you're chime in or listening in, chime in, let us know. I think Florida, you're probably pretty hot right now, and you're hoping for that fall. I think their season's a little different, from what I gather.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so as we're talking about, if you're just joining in, we're talking about the August slumps that most businesses go through, which is just around the corner. So we're talking about identifying if you feel like you're in that slump, and then we'll be talking about how um, we can get out of there or what you can do with that month, right? You can either say, "Man, this stinks," or you can do something about it. So we want to hope you guys take action. So we're just talking about the common signs of the August slump. You're not uh, you're not seeing the calls come in. Your things are starting to go quiet. Maybe it's you yourself. You're not posting on social regularly, or you're reducing your marketing because things aren't happening. So you just stop posting regularly, and you just fall into these passive modes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right. How to combat it. So how do we fight back, Jamie? So,
Yeah.
you wanna go
So I
into
mean,
that?
yeah. So there's many things you can do, right? Like what I like to do, if you're not reaching out to your clients every month, guys, via email or drip email campaigns or text or whatever, you need to start doing it. But I think a good time around late July or mid July, like you want to kind of, especially if you've been doing it a couple years, you know when it's coming. You know, put those drip campaigns active mid-July so you can kind of fill that schedule, right? When you know it's going to happen, me Alex was talking about this before we started, is also what you can do on some of these commercial jobs that maybe the budget wasn't there for them come spring. Push them to August, push them to late July or even early September, and you say, look, I can knock off 10 or 15% or maybe 20%, depending how bad you want the job, if you can push it and wait until this date. And I've had a lot of luck with that. And I know companies locally to me, in the home service field, business, that also have pretty good luck with that as well. So that's a really good way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan's chiming in. He's in Kentucky, so he's says, "I'm staying busy in Kentucky. I do route work and have won about 0 jobs in the last few days." Well, he's still staying busy. It's, route work, that's another thing,
Yeah,
building up your routes.
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
always it's money that just comes in, and you just know it fills up your schedule, your slots for sure.
it is, and I made a decision in my business to strictly almost to residential, and that can kind of bite you in the butt around this time. But route work, I mean, that's the work that keeps on giving, right, all year long. So there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
Maybe to clarify, uh, Alan says 10, so maybe there was 10 jobs. Well, that's even
Mm,
better.
yeah, I mean that's a win.
But yeah, to your point, uh, keep track of those people in the springtime that, whether it's those like we're talking commercial jobs that maybe it's just not that killer of a money in the springtime, but you can put them this into the that August
Yeah,
slot where it's going to slow down. Or good point, CRMs. Or if you don't have a CRM, you got to be doing something with the people that you're taking care of. I was talking to somebody, I think um they have I forget what they were putting in, maybe it's even notes, whatever,
yeah,
do what you can,
something.
store that
Yeah,
information, because
yep,
those people, maybe they're not really hurting for window cleaning in the spring. They just, well, hey, got your name, saw your
yep,
flyer, but you're
yep,
doing your 5 rounds, right?
yeah,
And they just interested in quote, and like it's a little too much for them now. Well, hey, I can put you in this into the August schedule if you're not in a
yep.
rush, and you fill your time slots and you give them a discount. So
Yeah, I
don't
missed out on so many clients my first 2 years, 2.5 years of doing business because I wasn't using a CRM. That is, like, the number one thing, guys, even if you're just starting out, to retain that info and to tap in at any given moment, get a CRM. I use Market, Jobber's a good one, there House Call Pro, there's a lot of good ones, but what it does is it allows you to take those leads that maybe you lost. Maybe you lost them. Maybe you were too expensive. Maybe somebody else jumped on them, but you can take those leads and put them all in like a group and then just email those leads, right? And you can say, hey, I know it didn't work out, in June or April, but we're running a pretty decent, discount right now for new clients. Let's see if we can get you on. And you'd be surprised. Every time I send out an email blast or a text blast, I get around 3 to 5 grand in work
Yeah.
every time. So it's invaluable. It really is.
Yeah. Another good point that you're talking about, put them in the CRMs, get them in those automations. Because I remember there was times where we had, outside lead sources that they're getting bombarded. Maybe they get with somebody they weren't happy with, or maybe they got overwhelmed, or
Mhm.
something came up and they actually didn't go through with cleanings. And I had them in a sequence uh, that it just went out there automatically, and the
Yeah.
next thing I know, they're booking later on in the year, in the fall, in August, so yeah, definitely don't put those people that you're like, I don't have time for them right now. August is a great time to get them in the
Yep.
schedule.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. So, and I think you talked about creating some deals as well, right?
Yeah.
So, definitely get those promos out there. Uh, guys, really, August is where you will win the fall. So if you're
Yeah.
not planting the seeds now, don't expect to harvest in September.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, even if like worst case scenario, like you're just dead, right? Like nothing's happening 2 or 3 weeks. Use that time. Use that time to work on your CRM. Get a CRM. Work on your bundle services. Work on there's so much to work on in a business. This thing never stops, right? So you can really use that. And a big thing that I'm into, guys, too, and this is another little nugget is networking, right? Like I'm thinking about joining a local network group that's in my area that really can expand my reach because I'm limited. I'm very early on in like marketing budget situation. So I'm looking for the people that have blown past me that are doing way more than me in revenue, and I want to know how they're getting there, and they're going to be in the houses that I want to be in, right? Like I'm talking landscapers, I'm talking pressure washers, I'm talking carpet cleaners. I've worked with a ton of restoration specialist companies, like house cleaning companies. Those are the gold mines. One thing I did a couple weeks ago, I actually got into a newsletter from a local networker house cleaning company that I work with, and she sends me tons of leads. But I sent out an email for her, right, saying, hey, this is exclusive for home and window washing clients. There's 15-20% off your first house cleaning. She got a ton of work off of that, right? And then what she did was she put me in her newsletter that went out to thousands of people that I would have never reached before. So use that time to get creative, use that time to reach out. Even if they don't want it in August, you can really push them to October, depending on your weather situation, September, maybe early November. I usually am shutting down, early November. It's usually the first snow. But another thing I'll hit on too, Alex, is I'm not doing this, but I think it was somebody on Facebook I follow, but basically they're like, look, pressure washing is winding down right now, but Christmas lights are going up. So if you're offering Christmas lights, now is the time. August is the time. I think September they start installs or something crazy. So I mean, to get everybody there for Christmas. So that's another good thing too.
Yeah, always look for different avenues of service that makes sense. How I see you're not going to be a window cleaner, and then you're going to be an arborist or something, tree
Yeah,
trimmer.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. They got to
something
complement each other
weird.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. But always be looking for, especially I know guys that have employees, that bring on employees. They want to look for ways to
yeah,
keep those people around. I was watching your video you posted earlier today. So you're looking for ways of keeping on board because you got some good guys, right? And
yeah, yep,
so you want to keep them for the long haul for
yep,
sure.
yep.
I just wanted to chime. I'm looking over at. Sorry for everybody on Instagram. I'm just uh, not seeing these posts on our live stream, so just want to touch base on here, see if there's anything that I'm missing. We got our good friends over at Chappelle Solar Cleaning. Um, so they do their. We push for spring, fall solar cleaning. So yeah, you're
Solar's a
probably
big one.
are.
Solar's a
Yep,
big one. Not
and
in
you're
Michigan, but
well, it's becoming bigger everywhere. Texas is another big one now, and I think Chappelle, you guys are out in Texas, so and I'm sure you guys don't want to be working in the heat on the roof in August, for sure. So yeah, fill up your use this time to fill up your schedules. All right,
yeah,
let's
Alan,
see.
Alan's talking on talking on YouTube right now. He says, I even asked to clean car windshields while I'm out in public. Water fed systems would work great for this. I have had many clients ask me, mainly older clients, because you get that fog, right? Like inside.
Yeah.
Um, they're like, oh, can you clean it? And sometimes I told my guys not to. It's too much liability there, right? Like you're in a car, they have maybe personals in there, like whether they misplace them, like it's just too much, so we don't do it. But I like the thinking there, Alan. I like the thinking there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get back into it. We're heading into segment 4. We obviously um this Waterfed Wednesday is brought to you by Tucker. So we'll talk about a little bit about waterfed pole stuff here.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, Jamie.
So you know this, like I mentioned before, if nothing's really dialing down, like, or happening, it's a great month to kind of get the gear in place, right? Like you want to make sure. Like I just had some stuff go down on a couple of our stuff the guys were using. The guys are a lot more abusive on it than I was, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a great time to check your systems, check your filters. I am seeing an uptick on guys and gals that are texting me and that I've worked with in the past that are like, hey, why is this doing this? And we do some troubleshooting, and I'm like, time for your RO change, right? So it's things that maybe, especially if you have employees or techs, maybe they're not going to tell you, right? Maybe they're not going to notice or see that creep up. But it's a good time to really check on those systems, check on those clamps, make sure everything is clean, get those poles apart, make sure you're cleaning them, and stuff like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Running maintenance on your equipment is huge. Yeah, you just got done with one of the busiest times of the years. Obviously, the spring rush that goes into graduation season, and the Fourth of July holidays.
Yeah,
So you're out there just filling your schedule full. So you definitely want to make sure your systems are ready for the fall time. If you got into a rival, just think about that system. The combo filter that comes with that filter lasts about 5,000 gallons. So you're by now you're probably ready for another one. Good thing with when you buy a new system, you'll have your extra one included in your when you first time you buy the system, but maybe you're going through those a little bit quicker because you're really using your system. So yeah, this is a great time to make sure everything is just in top notch shape for
it
the
is.
fall rush.
It is, and I used to have trouble with my poles, right? Like when you try to extend them, I like to keep my lines in my poles. A lot of guys will keep them outside and then wrap it. I like to keep them inside. It's what I've always done. It's what I was trained to do previously. But what can happen, especially if you're in like dirt areas or mud or sand, that rope or your water fed hose will collect dirt, and what happens
Mhm.
is that when you put it in your pole and then you extend it, that dirt gets all up in your clamps and in your pole, and you're like, oh, why is this? It creates Alex, help me out. What's that black stuff called? Like the
Like
that
soot, the
yeah,
carbon, yeah.
yeah, that'll be, it's because your poles are drying out, right? So Alex, what do you recommend? I've seen some guys use like skateboard wax,
Yeah.
right? What's the best way to clean these poles?
I had a funny feeling we're going that direction, and there's this type of spray that we can use to kind of lubricate that get it cleaned up, and it for some reason it's slipping my mind.
I
So
I
I have to recall or
Yeah, I
come
tell
up
my
with.
clients for the windows, it's like a dry lube. It's like a dry, it
Yeah,
almost looks like a WD-40 spray, but it's like a dry lube. And I think there's many different kinds of it. But I think that would work.
that's
It
it.
would work pretty well.
It's oh man, it's if Sean was listening, he would probably be able to chime in.
Yeah,
Busy
yeah.
today, but it is. You're right. It's kind of it's a spray lubricant, but it's not a greasy type, right?
Right,
Because you don't want
right.
that either. But definitely, yeah, make sure you're um, getting your systems ready. A good time for it because, like we mentioned, we have our Christmas and July sale going on, so a good time to stock up with your filters. Or if you've been wanting to try out some new brushes, we definitely got those for you.
Yeah, the glide brush, guys. I was a little hesitant at first with this brush because the bristles are a little bit shorter, but I'm telling you, I've switched all my poles over to the glide. It's a synthetic brush that to me that I found that scrubs just as good as boar hair, but it lasts and glides as long as nylon. So if you haven't, guys, I highly recommend it. And then, Alex, can you tell us a little bit about the honey badger that just came out not too long ago?
Yeah, so that's another fantastic brush. It really was in solar mine, but we also have it in a way you could use it for windows. It's safe for both panels and a glass. So it is basically a synthetic hybrid because we know we have our hybrid with the nylon on the outside and boar hair in the center. Well, this is a similar concept, but it's with the synthetic bristles on the inner part. It's like a black bristle that's a little more stiffer,
Yep,
so the guys that are out west in California that have the droppings, the bee droppings, bird droppings, they're having some great success cutting through that as it. They weren't really getting that with, say, an all nylon brush.
sure,
So this is a fantastic ad for you. So
absolutely, absolutely.
definitely think about getting the honey badger. Uh, Over on Instagram, we got Squeegee Samurai checking in. He said, Jamie, help me get my water fed pole system from Tucker. Arrives next week. So I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Awesome,
Let
love
us
it.
know how it goes. Let Jamie know how it goes.
Absolutely. Patrick, what's up, man?
Yes.
He said clean school districts, they want everything done over the summer break. That's an excellent point. I have not had any luck cracking into my local school district, but I know for a fact that they're not getting their windows done. So I got to just try harder. I had a meeting scheduled with one of the head maintenance guys, and he bailed last minute. Now I haven't been able to contact him. So, but I don't know why they're not getting it done. Right? Like I'm not sure. But that's a great point. School districts. Maybe as the summer gets going too, if you can think of other, like karate, all these extracurriculars that students maybe, navigating to, they're going to need some extra help too, daycares, stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Great idea. And I think I mentioned, um, the senior living communities. That
Ooh,
was a
yeah.
great time for me to get them on the schedule too. There's just budget constraints wasn't ideal for them in the spring and the
Yep.
fall. August was a great time to fill them in.
They're popping up
So
like crazy over around me, man. They're most of them now. They're like the apartments are, they'll go up to 3 or 4 stories, but like a lot of these, you know, maybe it's like memory care facilities or whatever. They have it's 1 story. It's huge. It's branched out, right? So it's just massive. So
yeah,
it's an easy clean. So if you can land one of those, that'd be fantastic.
yeah. All right. Well, we're already at the 4 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Eastern. So, Jamie, I'll keep in mind you got one family you want to get back to, but we'll just dial it in here. Finish up with we're going into all right. Let's reframe our mindset with August.
Yeah.
So we like to joke about the dog days of summer, but the truth is, August can be a gift if you use it right.
Yeah, absolutely. So some big things to keep in mind, guys, is like, if you have a team or even yourself, you can think of yourself as your team, right? Like keep your training up, improve your processes, and start scheduling that fall work, right? Like if anything, just go out and find the people that are going to want it done in the fall. If you're doing your due processes, all your spring work, you should be in and outs in the spring and out in the fall, right? So I think Jersey calls it the den is closed, right? I mean, it's correct. I mean, you want to be, and I'm working on this too. I'm working on it for year over year, right? I have a goal of at least 100,000 booked for 2026. So, but really, especially as maybe temps cool down a little bit, you can really send out one good email and saying, all right, guys, maybe give them a call to action, give them an urgency and tell them, hey, let's let, our season's winding down. Let's get you in. And they're gonna be like, oh man, yeah, you're right. Like winter's coming, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you really gotta nab them. So be productive. Don't just sit on your hands. It's easy to do, but you got to push.
Yeah. Good deal. Patrick chiming in. So it fell in his lap naturally. Um, I've been borderline stalking trying to get neighboring districts. Well, once you get your foot in one, it's a lot easier
It
because they
is.
do have connections, or they'll around here. People go from one district to another.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Yeah, people talk, and it works the same way in neighborhoods. A referral program would help tremendously as well. I'm working on one for next season, like a really, really good one that would, you want to be, your local celebrity, right? So if I can have my guy stay in one street for one day, that's a win. That's a
Yeah,
complete win.
absolutely. Yeah, another thing, I think you brought this up, but dial in your CRM, build out your campaigns. One thing is if you are somebody that utilizes water fed, and I don't know if it was like this for you, but there's times that most of the time they'll just let you do whatever you're doing, but some are really surprised by the whole process of water fed.
They are. You got to
It,
educate for sure.
yeah, so this could be a good time for you to even make FAQ videos or questionnaires on your website about the
Yep.
process, document the process so they when you get there, you already eliminate that step, that conversation.
Absolutely.
Or even if you have that conversation, practice that conversation.
Yeah.
It's not something you're stumbling over, but that way you can educate your customers, and it really goes a long way. Um,
Expectation is key, and I tell my guys this, right?
Absolutely.
Because, you will weed out 95% of any issues if you just set expectation. Whether that's with water fed, whether that's with just the job you're doing that day. I tell my guys to go over, the work order for that day and make sure they know. So they're, oh, you forgot screens or whatever. Nope, we went over this. Everything was agreed upon. So setting expectations, no matter what you're doing, is huge.
Absolutely. All right, let's get in our next one. How about some strategies here? Bonus here, some call to action ideas. Jamie, what do you got? Do you got any of those?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, a super obvious one is like back to school, right? Like back to school special. You can throw in a free screen cleaning. One thing I will tell you, that I just did. I offered that, but then I had a lot of clients. I didn't put on there for new clients, so make sure you put on there for new clients. You're gonna have some clients that are booked out a couple weeks saying, "Oh, I love that," and then your guys are cleaning 50 screens for
Yeah.
free. So make sure you do that fine print. But another one, run a prepay and save special. So let people book their fall cleaning at a discount now. So you get cash flow, whether that's for you or for your guys. And then they get locked in. A lot of guys are going to that right now. And that's one thing David hits on with HSBC is just start taking, what is it called? Um, what is it, Alex? Help me out. Start taking, when they prepay.
Mm. Um,
Yeah. Anyway, have your folks prepay. And
Pre-orders.
that, what was that?
Well, for us, it's pre-orders.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, have them take, have them prepay. That way, you have money down. They're locked in, so you're not losing clients as well.
Yeah.
So that'll help a lot too.
Yeah. I was at the gym the other night on elliptical just watching some YouTube videos on business. Dan Martell was talking about this. A lot of companies complain, I'm running out of leads, I don't have enough. But don't second guess if you got a good following on their socials. Maybe hit up some of your this maybe you guys are like, I will never do this, but hit up some of those DM some of your customers that are following you,
Yeah,
just like, hey, if you really want something on the schedule, just reach out to them. You never know, they might have a need for you to come in and clean, or else you're securing work for the fall. So you utilize that time. I want to highlight this message, breezy window cleaning, because this is very true. um don't just worry about work. This is a great time to book some time off with your family. That mids some
yeah.
right before, like I said, right before, for us, before they get into school, let's take out some time, spend some time with that family and recharge your batteries before the fall rush. So, great point. When I had my business, we definitely did that. We would just do a little staycation somewhere in the state, about 6 hours away. Uh, use this time as well to recharge your batteries, because you
It is,
definitely
and
don't want to head into fall, um, you know, already exhausted for
I
sure.
was I wish I was better at that, when I was solo. Um, I was always thinking about the next job. I was always, like, pushing myself really, really hard, and I got burned out, you get halfway through the year, and you're pushing. You're gonna tell yourself you're never gonna do weekends, but doggone it, that jobs are gonna come up, and you're gonna probably work some weekends. But yeah, definitely take some time for the family. We've been trying to do that more this year, and that way you can get recharged, so you can make that final push going into the fall. And I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So, uh, once again, August it might seem like the dog days for your business, but you can definitely utilize this time to recharge yourself and recharge your business. Look for ways to get that fall schedule filled up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And guys, don't forget, um, you know, take the time, because these little things, right? Like the gear situation, dialing your processes and your CRMs. If you want to make this thing that you have going, that you've worked your tail off, any more than it is now, it's those little things, it's those little routine things that will catapult you, and move you, if you'd like, onto the next level. So don't forget about the little stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. We are still live. I don't have an assistant to help out with these comments, so if we miss some of you guys, we definitely apologize. But thank you guys for joining us live. We are approaching the end of our show here, but we just want to, before we sign off, just a reminder, guys, this is a great time to be saving over at our website, tuckerusa.com. We have our Christmas in July. We got that 10% going on everything site wide. So,
Yeah.
great time to stock up before the fall hits hard.
Yep, yep. If you guys need anything, I'm available. My number is 269-769-8849. You can call, text, shoot me DM on my socials. You can find me at Tucker Pro Jamie on Instagram, or Hallman Window Washing everywhere else.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. So if you're watching us over on YouTube, don't forget to, like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff that's you do on YouTube. So if you know someone who's stuck in a slump, you can share this with them. Once again, if you're just now joining us, yes, we do these live on Wednesdays, 3:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Eastern. Um, but you could definitely check these out anytime, 24/7 over at YouTube and on our Facebook business page. So thanks again, guys. Have a great one, and we'll tune in next week for episode. We'll have episode 28 with our good buddy Cody Downs. So look forward to that one. All right, guys, take care.
Peace out.